I think for most people right now, the focus is all on using AI tools.
Mhm.
They're finding, clever ways to write a bit faster, maybe automate a single task.
Right. A script here, a customer service reply there.
Exactly. But there's this new class of builders, the sources are calling them AI CEOs, who are doing something completely different.
They're building compounding systems.
And that distinction, that's everything, isn't it?
It is, because it unlocks this just startling speed. We're seeing companies go from 0 to $100 million in revenue faster than ever. I mean, ever.
It's because they're building these self-improving loops instead of, rigid business plans.
That's the core of it.
So in this deep dive, that's what we're unpacking. We're looking at the strategic thinking behind this kind of non-linear success.
We're going to get into the 4 specific feedback loops that create what the research calls real lasting wealth in the economy we're in right now.
Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today is pretty clear. We want to distill the core philosophy of what makes a successful AI CEO based on the source material you sent over.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to really understand what's driving this massive nonlinear growth today, you're in the right place.
And we kind of have to start by admitting something about our own brains. The new economy, let's call it the 2026 economy, it's built on 2 things that we humans just aren't wired for.
And what are those?
Things that grow incredibly fast and systems that improve themselves automatically.
We think in straight lines.
We do. We're wired for that gradual, predictable path. We plan for it. But that whole model is basically obsolete now.
The wealth is in the loops, not the lines.
That's it. And we're going to explore these 4 loops. There's the balance loop, the speed to revenue loop, the signal to innovation loop, and then maybe the most human one, the sweat equity loop.
Understanding these, it's really a shift in thinking. You stop planning a product and you start building a kind of perpetual motion machine.
So let's just start with the context, the sheer velocity we're seeing.
Okay.
The old growth models just don't fit anymore. I mean, look at the data. ChatGPT hit 100 million users in 60 days.
60 days. That number alone, it almost bends reality. That benchmark didn't even exist a few years ago.
And the speed itself is getting faster. So Sora, for instance, got to 1 million downloads even quicker than ChatGPT did.
Wow.
And in the business world, this translates right to revenue. We're seeing startups like Cursor and Perplexity hitting 100 million in recurring revenue in, 12 to 18 months?
Whoa. Just imagine trying to scale to 1 billion queries or $100 million in less than 2 years. It's genuinely hard to wrap your head around that kind of growth.
It is.
And it makes that old school 5-year plan just completely obsolete. You move slow, you're just done.
Absolutely. The sources are so clear on this. The speed isn't coming from some perfect launch plan.
Because that plan is old by the time you launch it.
Right. It comes from building these loops that learn and compound almost instantly. The loops are the plan.
So that immediately brings up the question then. If the plan is obsolete, where on earth do you even start?
You start with loop number 1, the balance loop. And the idea here is simple. Stop chasing trends.
Stop chasing the flavor of the month.
Yeah. Instead, chase acute pain.
So that's the balance. It's where your unique sort of unfair edge meets a real problem that customers are having every single week.
Exactly. You focus only on your skills. You build something nobody buys. You focus only on the pain. You're just a commodity, easy to copy.
So let's define that edge. What is an asymmetric advantage? It's not just being talented, right?
No, it's judgment that's been shaped by time. It's deep industry knowledge, or maybe you mastered some really boring, messy process that no one else wanted to touch for years.
That boring experience is actually the valuable part.
It's the most valuable part because AI can now amplify it like never before.
Right. And we see that in the GIP investment bank case study. They had 20 years of due diligence judgment. That was their edge. And when they used AI to automate, 70% of their manual work, they did more than save time. They could suddenly do 40% more deals at a 60% lower cost.
Their human learning became the AI's accelerator.
Okay, so that's the edge. What about the other side, the acute pain?
Well, businesses don't pay for your vision. They pay to stop bleeding time and money, like right now.
So that has to be a weekly frustration.
A weekly or even daily frustration. An accountant wasting 5 hours every week on reconciliation. A realtor losing deals, chasing down paper signatures.
Those aren't new problems.
Not at all. But they're consistently painful. And that pain creates urgency, which makes people willing to pay. So the formula is simple. Your edge plus real pain plus fast testing, that's a business worth building.
So if that unique expertise is key, what's the real value of focusing on that messy, kind of unexciting pain?
It just guarantees you're building something people are actually desperate to solve.
Okay, that brings us to the second loop. So if loop one is about what to solve, loop two, the speed to revenue loop, is all about the how fast.
And here, speed beats perfection. Every time.
And the case study for this is Cursor, right? 0 to 100 million in 18 months.
By shipping new features every single day.
Every day. I mean, how is that even possible? What's the engine behind that speed?
They call it the hidden engine. It's a meta loop. The team at Cursor uses Cursor to build Cursor.
Ah, so they're their own first customer.
Instantly. They ship a feature, use it themselves, find a bug, and fix it, often on the same day.
So they completely cut out those long feedback cycles. No endless meetings, no waiting weeks for user feedback.
The pain is immediate because they live inside the product. That's their competitive moat.
And that's so important for anyone listening because long-term planning is just so fragile now.
It is. A new model release, like a hypothetical ChatGPT 6 or Gemini 4, could just wipe out your advantage in a few weeks. You can't just disappear for 6 months to build in secret anymore.
But I mean, doesn't that just lead to burnout? How do you maintain an edge when the ground is constantly shifting underneath you?
Your advantage is the speed of your learning. By iterating daily, you prioritize learning and revenue, and that becomes your moat, not the code itself.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We just covered the need to move incredibly fast with the speed to revenue loop. Now let's talk about loop number 3, the signal to innovation loop.
This one is about survival, really. When any feature can be copied in a matter of weeks, your only protection is listening to reality.
Listening to what your users actually do.
Exactly. And the best contrast here is YouTube versus the startup Quibi.
Okay.
YouTube is basically a giant learning machine. Every click, every pause, every scroll is a signal it uses to adjust.
It's a real-time system. It's not using focus groups to guess what people want. It's just watching behavior and constantly tweaking itself. That loop never stops.
Never. Now, compare that to Quibi. They launched with almost $2 billion. Huge celebrities, a very confident vision.
Which was short, premium shows for your phone.
Simple idea. But the engagement data, right from the start, was weak.
And they trusted their vision more than the signals?
They did. Instead of adjusting to the reality in front of them, they just defended the original idea, and the company was gone in 6 months.
So the money didn't save them. The big names didn't save them.
No. The insight is that features and price won't save you. The only real edge is how fast you notice and respond to those signals.
So why is responding to user signals more important now than it was, say, 5 years ago?
Because features get copied so fast, that tight signal loop is the only thing that lets you pivot and protect the business from decay.
That brings us to the final loop, which might be the most important one, the sweat equity loop.
Yeah, this one is very human.
The old advice was always hire smart people and get out of the way. But in an AI-first world, that can actually destroy your business.
It can, because AI products aren't set it and forget it. They drift. They slowly get worse if a human isn't paying close attention.
You see things like prompt degradation, messy data, edge cases that just explode.
And for anyone who hasn't seen prompt degradation, it's basically when the system starts to forget its instructions. The output gets more generic, less useful.
By the time it's obvious, your users are probably already gone.
You've lost them.
You know, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself, even on small personal projects. It takes that invisible manual effort, that sweat equity, to stay close and test the outputs and just notice when something feels a little off.
And that invisible effort, those late nights running tests, that turns into insight. It sharpens your judgment. And that judgment is the one thing AI cannot take from you.
So failure is just part of the loop. It turns effort into experience.
Exactly. Money without judgment is gone fast. But judgment earned through that effort, that sticks.
So how do founders balance staying that close to the product with the need to, actually scale the business?
Well, the visible scaling, it actually relies on that invisible sweat equity to keep all the automated systems sharp and alive.
We've covered a lot here. The 4 loops: balance, speed, signal, and sweat equity. But I think the biggest payoff that's often missed isn't just the revenue.
Yeah.
It's the understanding you build along the way. That's the part that no one else can copy.
Right. And to make this really actionable for you, the listener, we pulled 4 steps directly from the material.
Okay.
First, for balance.
Mm-hmm.
Just write down what you are uniquely good at, and then list 3 painful weekly problems that you hear people complain about.
Simple enough.
Second, for speed. Just ship something small every single week for the next month. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just keep moving.
Third, Signal. Track one real action users take in your system. Not a vanity metric like likes, but actual behavior.
Yeah. And finally, sweat. Find that one messy, degrading problem you've been avoiding and just spend some real time fixing it this week.
The goal is to build systems that learn faster than the world is changing.
That's the whole game.
So here's the final thought for you to think about as we wrap up. If that's the ultimate goal, what's the one crucial human skill beyond just technical ability that you personally might be neglecting? The one that, if you sharpened it with real effort, could become the most valuable, non-automatable part of your own personal system.
That wisdom that you build through effort, that's the real prize in this economy. Keep building, keep learning, and you'll stay ahead.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We'll talk to you next time.